Hi, this is Jonathan Abdur Rahim King. You are watching Chester View.
CHESTER, with Chester makes Chester, and we're going far. Coming together and using our voice to let you know change is a choice. It's a Chester flow. Can't buy, can't rent it. If you're rocking with your city, stand up, represent it. Chester flow.
Hey everybody, thank you for tuning in. We are here in the Visions Video Studio. I'm here talking with my brother Jonathan, and we got a lot to talk about with his many hats. How you doing today?
I am great, thank you.
Now we have a really heavy topic as far as prison reform. That you do it. You're activists in the community and all of that good stuff. But I know that one of the things that's on your heart is about prison reform. Now, if someone is watching and there's like, I have somebody getting out, but what direction should they go? What do they need to know? So just kind of talk to us about the information that you will be giving out.
Well, I think one of the first things they need to know is who are their supporters. And I think that's a trick question for some people who've been incarcerated and still think their man is their man, and he's not. People who are doing constructive, positive things, they say you start with your family first, but you should always contact someone who is actually doing something that's going to help you stay out. And those are the people who are doing things, like I said, jobs, whatever your religious preference is, whoever your friends were and who they are now. Guys keep forgetting when you come home from prison, you don't have any friends anymore. They're old friends. That's what they're called, old friends. So my advice to people, I always tell them is, find some people and find people that are winning instead of losing. And we don't have to decipher between the two because we know what winners look like and what losers look like. We talking about out in this world. So I always tell them to get resources, find someone who's actually been incarcerated and they're out in the world now doing very well for themselves, which is many. Incarceration and being incarcerated is like a life sentence. Once you went to prison, people will always know that you went to prison. It's like a life sentence. And people in the business world, in the medical world, and sometimes in the entertainment world, it don't matter. But in the real world, when you have to get a job, because everybody can't rap, everybody can't sing, everybody can't play basketball, and everybody can't play football. So sometimes that can be a stain on your heart, and you have to work 10 times harder than the other person. I'm going to tell you something that's funny, because a lot of people think when they get out of prison that the world owes them something. That's a big deal. That
was my next question, because I'm glad you touched on that, because I've seen people get out angry, like, well, you didn't write me, and you didn't call me, and you didn't send me money, and then they're holding on to this grudge and not living life.
People need to really let go of that. I mean, on your ID, it got one picture on it. When you get your charges, it really got your name on it. And I tell guys all the time, let that mentality go. If you don't leave that ego at the prison, that I used to be the man at the prison, if you don't leave those things there, when you come back, you will be the exact same way. And you know what's so crazy? Rather you sold coke, or you shot guns, or you stole whatever, it will still be some of the same people you deal with out there waiting for you, man, to send you back.
Wow.
They'll be out there waiting for you. So I think that it's people keep saying, oh, guys need jobs. No, it's this right here. If you get this right and this right here, you ain't going to do nothing but win. Get those two. You start thinking different. You start having a real heart from a moralistic perspective. You wouldn't want nothing to do with any of those things no more, because you know what it got you. The risk that we take to survive, to pay our electric bill, to pay our car note, to impress that girls, because it's about the girls.
Shut your mouth.
Oh, it's about y'all. Most men are in prison because of a woman. Indirectly or directly, he is. Indirectly or directly.
Wait a minute, let me turn the steering wheel, because we about to park right here. We're back at, boop, boop, boop. All right, we going to park right here. So most of the time, it's something specific.
Yeah, it's all, if you, I've been in prison a while, it took a quarter of my life. And I was blessed to be a smart guy going. I wasn't supposed to be in jail. People's like, man, you got a high school diploma, you graduated, you on your way to college, you got a driver's license. If you have a driver's license, right, and a high school diploma, you are 50% ahead of everyone else in your community.
What?
Facts. You got a driver's license, you got a high school diploma, you're already 50% ahead of every other black man in your community.
Wow.
That's a fact. So, when a guy like me go to prison, and I'm in the law library every day because I'm trying to figure out how to get out of here, because this ain't my life. I'm trying to find out, what do I do to get out of prison? And I did a lot of reading. I helped a lot of people get out of jail. You know what I mean? I read people's cases, and I sat down and discussed people's cases all night, and you wouldn't believe some of the stuff I heard. I just said, I hope he never get out to some of them.
Because of their mindset.
Gone. So I knew that wasn't a place for me. So I used it as my school, and that's why I went to college for social work. Because I wanted to know how to interact with people. Because we're not good with interpersonal skills no more. Because like the brother said in the interview before us, the technology, right? There's some pros and cons to it, but it has destroyed the social interaction between people.
That is true. They don't even know how to communicate sometimes.
When my kids text me and I tell them I need to hear a voice, they call dad, because I pay most of their phone bills. They call dad up right away.
If you don't call me, you won't call nobody.
Because if somebody grabbed you, right, and they're texting back, we see it on the movies, you would never know. It's not real.
It is a mental thing because, like I was sharing earlier, you see the face, you see the activities, and you think that you've seen them, but it's literally been years since you actually physically gave that hug or that handshake.
So we're missing that. A lot of young people, especially guys that get out of prison, that have PTSD. You don't have to go to war to have PTSD. People don't understand that. They don't know how to communicate with nobody when they've been told what to do every day. Told when to go to the bathroom, told what they can wear and buy, and when they take a shower, you have to go to the... They don't know how to do it. So they're angry when they get out because they're treated like not a human being. So you can't expect it. Then when they get out here, nothing is one-on-one and on hands anymore. So they're getting worse. They have to learn this phone, this instrument now that is your computer. They have to learn it right away because everybody's communicating with that. They have to learn it right away. So there's more frustration going in, not how I read and write and all those kinds of things. So there's more frustration. When a person get out of prison and he's sent on a mission, right, to get a job or to do anything, the further out it is, right, the more frustrated and impatient he gets and he gives up.
You keep jumping right on. That's where I was going. But before we take a break. So when you get out of prison, I know that the odds are high for them coming back, but it's like, what are you equipped with when you get out?
Absolutely nothing. It's funny, I have to tell you this part of the story because it's relevant to what I'm going to say. There's a guy I know, and I know he wouldn't mind me saying his name. His name is Tyrone Works. He was a lifer. He had got a couple of degrees from Villanova University while he was in prison. He kept telling everybody he didn't want to do a TV interview. He didn't want it to be a big deal. When they interviewed Tyrone Works, they stopped people from prison getting college degrees. Cut it. Because the people up there in Penn State and all those other places felt like a guy incarcerated can get a degree and I have to pay to go to school. This doesn't make any sense. Rightfully, it may have been a good argument to a certain extent, but they don't plan on showing a brother or whoever is in prison, they don't plan on educating you about anything. It's about programming. Going to programs, that's it. So you get out here knowing nothing, no skill, and you come out here and they're like, what you mad for? What are you mad for? So yeah, it's deep. So yeah, he's equipped with, he has to learn on his own.
On that note, we're going to take a break and we will be right back.
It's a Chester flow. Can't buy, can't rent it. If you're rocking with your city, stand up, represent it. Chester flow. the flow. Can't buy, can't rent it. If you're rocking with your city, stand up, represent it.
Welcome back. We are here in the studio with my brother Jonathan. So, you are an activist in the community. You have a lot going on. So, why did you want to start doing things in the community and giving back? What brought you there?
I feel like that, there's a saying that when you do good deeds, it's part of God's rent on earth, right? We hear that a lot, but we don't see too many people doing that, right? So I started this thing called Community Safe Corridors. And when I was working for the city of Chester, I had a lot of volunteers doing it for free. And I felt like that you can't keep volunteering for free, not grown people. I feel like you should give them something. So when I left City Hall, I ended up working at this school that I work for. And when the lady hired me, I said, the only way that I'm going to work at this school if you allow me to implement safe corridors. I had no clue that they were building a new school. I had no clue that they were having all of these meetings. And the number one thing was what? Safety. Which is the number one thing for children around this country, maybe the world. I want to say this part that is part of the interview, but maybe it ain't to some people, it ain't important. When I first started Safe Corridors, right, at the school, I'm on the board of directors for the Delaware County Literacy Council. One of my members lived in Columbia for 10 years, one of my board members. And she said, do you really know the meaning of safe corridors, Rahim? She called me Rahim because I go by the name of Jonathan Abdur Rahim King to a lot of people. And I said, no. She said, it started in Columbia, right? When children were trying to go to school safe, they created a corridor because they had to walk 5 miles. And I was like, wow, I never knew that. And this was a Caucasian lady who told me this, right? Not coming up from our communities because she lives in the suburbs, but it was really good information and allowed me to put meat and potatoes of the meaning of community safe corridors. So for me, this program can be at every school and in any school all around the world. So we started it, and I told my boss that the only way that I wanted Safe Corridors to be part of the program. So she said, cool, what's the budget? I gave her the number. She's like, cool. I hired people. When this school got built, we were able to protect the perimeter from 9th Street all the way around to 15th Street, bringing the buses in and the cars in and out. And I could tell you, kindergartens walk to school safely. And we're on every corner. And now, by God's mercy, we actually have walkie-talkies now, too. Not no cheap stuff. We got that Motorola good stuff. You can really hear somebody clear from 5 blocks down the road. So I think that community safe corridors is something that our city is really enduring and loving. I haven't really, I could say, promoted it the way I wanted to because of other reasons that Amanda knows. But I appreciate the opportunity of being on here talking about it because people are talking about it. We are probably, and I'm going to say this in a real good, nonchalant way, one of the safest areas for our children to go back to school because of our presence. And I'm sure it would be like that with anywhere. Not saying none of the schools are safe, not saying that. But I'm just saying this would be a great additive for the school for our children to be safe. I think that this idea, and I stipend, everybody get paid. We call it stipends because they're still considered volunteers. So I'm hoping, especially for the people that's listening in this city, in this county, that this is something that people are interested in. I'm always hiring. I would love to have more volunteers, men or women, black or white, Hispanic or whatever, whoever you are. We are an equal opportunity employer. We would love, especially to have our community involved, because when people from the community are involved with a project such as this, our children knows them. Everyone is not a stranger. We get a chance to talk to them. We get a chance to make them feel safe. Because not just talking about our city or any other place, these schools need it.
Okay. Well, I'm sure someone's listening and saying, how could they get more information about that? How could they do that?
You can reach me at 215-301-1064, or you can email me at jonathanking3600@gmail.com. That would be JONATHANKING THANKING 3600 at gmail.com. I just wanted to add to that we're not crossing guards, and people get that kind of twisted sometimes. We are eyes and ears of the community abroad. That's what we are at Safe Quarters, to protect our children, our women, and our community.
All right. Well, we thank you for hanging out with us today, giving us that good information.
Thank you so much for having me, and I love this platform, and may you continue to be blessed and keep doing the great work that you do. I am so proud of you guys.
Thank you. On that note, we're going to call it a night. See you next time.
CHESTER, with Chester makes Chester, and we're going far. Coming together and using our voice to let you know change is a choice. It's a Chester flow. Can't buy, can't rent it. If you're rocking with your city, stand up, represent it. Chester flow. If you